Shalom to everyone. Baruch Hashem. We are holding class number 5. Thank you for your response. You're really giving me energy and power to continue. And Hashem should help us to grow in the Kedusha, holiness, with Tahara, cleanliness, and have nachat from all our action, from our children and grandchildren. Those who keep holiness in their houses, the holiness spreads to your neighbors, to your block, to your street, to your town. Careful, people get closer to you, people get attached to you, and they tell you, listen, we want to follow also proper path. Can you help us, please? This shows you that your neshama gets attached with other neshamot, and Be'ezrat Hashem, you will see a lot of fruits, a lot of growth, especially in your children and grandchildren, by keeping this Torah mitzvot. Baruch Hashem, we're holding on the last Thursday of the year. This is Wednesday night. The window is open and Hashem sends beautiful wind, beautiful air. It's enjoyable. And I want to share with you today, we are not having too many introductions because we gave enough, Baruch Hashem, for this topic. And we're just going to learn a lot of halachot briefly and speedily. We are holding page Zayin in halacha Dalet. Okay, it says, if let's say she began bleeding on, let's say, Wednesday night, and it never stops, the bleeding, it continues 3-4 days, or it's coming a lot of blood, or it comes drop by drop. She doesn't have to separate herself from her husband for 4 days or 3 days, but only the 12-hour period from the moment when it began. If it began on night, 30 days later, she separates herself from her husband on the night. If she knows exactly, she sees every 34 days, then she has to separate after 34 days from this time seeing. But what if woman, as we spoke about before, she doesn't know, she never kept up with the calendar. She says, you think I remember when I saw last month? I don't remember. But she could be remembering the day of the week or the day of the month. Once she knows, she has to count exactly 30 days. If she doesn't know exactly what the day, 30th day for every woman is considered like that's the regular cycle. In the situation when nobody knows when is it, count the 30th day. So if she sees on the daytime, she has to count after 29th day, the daytime of the 30th. The 30th daytime. After 29th, 9th, the daytime comes for 30th. Then she has to separate from her husband for this day, and after 12 hours period, when the day is over, sun sets, she checks herself, she sees she's clean, she is allowed to live after that with her husband again. But if she sees at night, then after 29th day, when the night begins, that night she has to be separated from her husband until the sunrise. As soon as sunrise comes, she checks herself, she's clean, she's allowed to be with her husband again. She has to always follow, not if she's, let's say, Wednesday night she starts bleeding, we said, and it goes 3-4 days, she doesn't have to separate from her husband 3-4 days, but only the 12-hour when it began. Why? Because this is the main spot that she bleeds. But whatever she sees additional blood, it's only considered additional blood. It's not the main blood. The main blood is the first drops that she sees at that period of time. So in 30 days, when she counts whatever 12 hours period, and she sees she's clean, she doesn't have to separate for 3 days. She checks she's clean. After that 12 hours, she's allowed to live with her husband again. Even though last month, those 3-4 days, she was bleeding. We say, as soon as the main time moved away, we say the secondary time also moved away, and she's clean. Halacha, hey. Law number 5. If woman is always sees blood, let's say sun rises 6 o'clock, she always sees blood 5:50. Before sunrise, she sees like 10 minutes before sunrise, like around 5:50. And she sees till 6:10. So now what do we do in this case? Her period starts coming at night, but it finishes by day. The main part starts at night. 10 minutes before night is finishing, she sees blood like 5:50 in the morning, and it goes till 6:15 in the morning. So next month, after 30 days, he separates from her the whole night. Why? Because period began at the night. So he separates from her the whole night. And also he has to separate from her the whole night, and also 15 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. So exactly last month, 30 days before, she saw at 5:50 until 6:15. 25 minutes she was bleeding. Okay? So she counts next month after 30 days on the 30th night. She counts, she separates from her husband the whole night from sunset until in the morning sunrise, and also 15 additional minutes. And then she checks herself. If she did not see her friend yet, she is allowed to be with her husband afterwards, after checking herself well. After she checks herself well, she's allowed to be with her husband. Halacha vav. If woman, she sees blood exactly at the sunrise. She doesn't know. She woke up 6 o'clock in the morning. Sunrise at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she sees blood. She says, "Oh, I don't know. It happened 3 minutes before. It happened just now. What do we do in this case?" In 30 days, her husband has to separate from her daytime. Why? Because now she found blood. Now it's day. We follow what we see right now. And in 30 days, night before, she's allowed to be with her husband until the morning. And also we said if she always sees at the sunset, now woman comes from work or anything, or she stays home, she sees sunset and she feels her friends is coming, her friends are coming, and she checks herself, she sees blood, and now is exactly sunset. So what do we say? She should be worried, maybe it happened 3 minutes before when the sun was there. No, we see what we see now. We follow after what we see right now. We see now blood, it's night. In 30 days, she has to be separated from her husband at night. Means the whole night, from sunset until sunrise, the 12 night hours. ואין הדבר ידוע בבירור אם הוא קודם השקיעת החמה או לאחר מכן. אין צריך לפרוש ממנה אלא בלילה, וכל היום שלפניו מותרת עד שקיעת החמה. And the whole entire day before, after 30 days, the whole entire day before, she's allowed to be with her husband until sunset. After sunset, till next sunrise, she's not allowed to be with him until she checks herself and she sees herself clean. Halacha Zayin. If it's a little bit too fast, please text me. Next time we'll do a little bit slower. Okay, beautiful. If woman forgot when was her last cycle, when she saw blood last time, she forgot when was the last jumping, means to know one jumping, you need to know 2 dates. Means, let's go back to, today is September 13, okay? So she saw previous one August 13, and before that July 13. So in order to know one jumping, you need to know 2 dates, when it starts, when it finishes. So if it begins July 13, finishes August 13, it means 30-day cycle. And from August 13 to September 13, again 30-day cycle. So she says, I know my last month, I know exactly when I saw on August, but I don't know when I saw on July. And she says, oh, you know what could be? I saw on previous one, I saw maybe July 12, July 11, July 10, July 9, and she's mixing herself up because she doesn't know. It's not understood exactly. We don't have exact date. She is jumping every 30 days, 31, 32, 33, 34. What is the jumping? וספקה נמשך על פני ימים רבים, שחוששת בהם שמא הם עונת ויסתה. אין צריך לדרוש ממנה כל הימים שבהם יש ספק שמא הם עונת ויסתה. So now, she has like 35, 36 days. She has 5-6 days that she could be seeing. She doesn't have to separate herself on those 5-6 days. What do we do when we don't know exact date? Listen to the next piece. ומכל מקום צריך לפרוש ממנה בעונת בינונית. In any situation, husband has to be separated from his wife on the 30th day from last seeing. דהיינו ביום ה-30 מיום תחילת ראייתה האחרונה. From the last seeing, has to be separated from her after 30 days. וכן, שכן דרך רוב האנשים לראות מ-30 יום ל-30 יום. Because majority of the women see every 30 days. ולכן יום ה-30 נידון אצלה כאילו הוא יום מסתה הקבוע. And therefore the 30th day considered to be like her regular cycle. Okay, now. עונת ליד כתם שלא בהרגשה. Sometimes women, they go to the bathroom, or they stay home, they work, they do their stuff, and they feel wet. They go check in their garment, and they see blood. Or, the worst thing to do is, when you don't feel nothing, you feel you're getting wet, check with napkin. Because napkin never accepts impurity. But sometimes a woman wants to be too smart. She says, oh, I feel a little bit wet. Let me take a cloth, the white cloth, and let me check with it. It's cotton. It accepts impurity. And what happened? She sticks that inside. And then there's blood. She becomes nida. What's painful? If 2 days ago she came from mikvah. So therefore we tell them, anytime you don't feel, don't check with the white garment. As soon as you come from mikveh, make sure you never wear white garment. Why? Because you might see any blood, and it could be more than 2 centimeters, and then you tameh, and then you nida. So now, person has to be very careful with these details. Don't butt in with white clothes if you don't feel. If you feel, that's a different story. I'm not talking about feel when it's tripping, but feel cramp. Feel like you feel every month. Then it's a problem. But if person doesn't feel, it goes to the bathroom and sees blood, doesn't mean you have to dig after it. We'll see that more in details. Now, onat re'iyat ketem shelo ba'argasha. If woman sees before her period, she sees blood a little bit. She checks with she checks her garment, and she sees there's blood. And exactly 12 hours later, she sees period. So now, next month, she says, you know what? I have 2 times bleeding. First, I see stain. 12 hours later, I see blood. Or she sees stain. How? She checks herself 12 hours before seeing her period, and she sees blood on the cloth. Now she's tameh, she's nida now. And next month, 12 hours before her period, does she have to be separated from her husband because she saw last month blood or no? One more time. A woman sees blood every 30 days. And before seeing blood, 12 hours or 24 hours before, she sees always stain. That is nida. It's a big stain, a lot of blood coming. She checks herself, she sees blood. and 12 hours later or 24 hours later, she sees period. So next month, when we said on the 30th day, she separates from her husband, does she have to be separating from her husband 12 hours before this period or 24 hours before this period or not? This is the question. The law says in number chet, Isha shera'ata ketem bli argasha, if women sustain without feeling it, ulachar ona or shte onot higia ed vista, and after 12 hours or 24 hours came her period, v'ra'ata dam bahargasha, and she sees blood with the old crank and cramp and pain, everything like a real period. It is a real period. Afal pi shaya ketem tameh, even though that stain was impure, still, next month, she only separates from her husband on the 30th day and not before that for 12 hours or 24 hours. She doesn't have to separate for 12 hours or 24 hours before that from her husband. Her husband is to separate from her only on the 12 hours that she saw blood with feeling and with a cramp. Next halacha. ואפילו אם לגילה תמיד לראות כתם עונה או שתי עונות לפני שהגיע זמן ויסתה, even though she always sees a stain, at 12 hours later she sees period. Every time it goes like this, אין ראיית הכתם נחשבת לעונת ויסתה לעניין פרישה. For separating from your wife, it doesn't mean that next month you should be separated 12 hours before once, and then on the period time when she saw, again 12 more hours. It doesn't mean that. You don't need to. But only husband separates from her when she sees blood with the cramp, with the feeling. Now, woman, she puts her cloth inside and she sees blood. But she didn't feel that this blood came out from her uterus. And after 12 or 24 hours came her period. And now she sees blood with feeling. Even though she is nida from the time that she checked with the cloth, still, we don't say that this blood is making another separation from her husband for 12 hours for next month. We don't say it. Her husband, even though, look what happens to her. She, before seeing her regular cycle, 12 hours before, she always has stain. Next month, her husband does not need to be separated from her. But now, look what it says here. But it's good to be strict regarding this. When she sees blood on the cloth that she checks with before her cycle, and next month, it's good if they want to be. It's good to be strict to separate from her when she saw blood on the cloth, which is 12 hours before that or 24 hours before that, and then separate one more time for 12 hours on the time when she was bleeding with feeling. Ulam, but still, im ra'ata dam bibdikat el, if she checked with the cloth and she sees blood on the cloth, bibdikat ed, ulachar ona o shte onot la'ata dam bargasha, and after 12 hours or 24 hours she sees blood with feeling, ואירע כן 3 פעמים בשלוש הווסתות האחרונות, and it happened 3 times on 3 previous times. For example, once she checked herself and 12 hours later she checked with the white cloth, it was bleeding, and then she sees period. It happened once in August, second time in July, third time in June. Since it happened 3 times, that's all September, she has to be worried about it, and she has to separate from her husband 2 times. Once when she saw the stain, and once when she saw the cycle. One more time, I'm starting this halacha again. But still, if she saw blood on the cloth when she checked herself, and after 12 hours or 24 hours she saw blood with the feeling, and it happened 3 times on the 3 previous months, so then her husband has to be separated from her, not only the month, not only the date when she saw her real period, but also the day when she checked with a cloth, and that cloth became bloody. Gimel, Mahut HaPrisha. Now, when we say, after 30 days you have to be separated with your wife, from your wife, what is that mean, separated? Please, let's pay attention to this law, very important. There's leniencies and there's stringencies. הלכה אין צריך לפרוש מאשתו בעונת ויסתה, אלא מתשמיש המיטה בלבד. Now, when I know within 12 hours my wife need to have her relatives, I need to be separated from her for 12 hours. We're saying 12 hours is not always 12 hours. If it's daytime, from sunrise to sunset. If it's nighttime, from sunset to sunrise. Okay? Now, when it says you have to be separated, you have to be only separated from intercourse, from living together, from being together. But but from the law, meikar adin, kissing, hugging, good words person should have always. All these are permitted. Let's say every month she sees at 6:10 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. or 5:30 a.m. And now I'm sitting and I'm talking to my wife, and I'm chatting with her. It could be kissing and hugging, and then what? It's 5:30. She could be seeing now. I'm not worried about it. If she didn't feel it, I could still talk to her. I could still give a kiss, give a hug, okay? Hashem says maybe I'm saying wrong things, maybe wrong word, wrong language, and he wants me to talk a little bit clean. Okay, this is why I get too cough. It happens. Now, if person sees that his wife sees at 5:30, and at the time of 5:30, should he give her a kiss and a hug? Yes, because at the moment she didn't feel it, she's still clean. ואפילו בשעת הווסת, דהיינו באותה שעה שרגילה לראות בה, מותר מנדים בחיבוק ונישוב. He's allowed to give her a kiss and a hug. ושאר קריבות, and all the other stuff. He wants to give her a hug, he wants to give her a massage, or vice versa. כל זמן שעדיין לא ראתה, as long as she didn't see, it's allowed. והמחמיד לפרוש מאשתו בעונת ויסתה, אף בחיבוק ונישוב. But some people, they are very, very strong men. He says, you know what? I love Hashem, and I want to be strict on it. When this time comes, I don't want to give her a kiss and a hug. If he wants to do that, he's able to do that. Chazak Baruch, he should be blessed. He should be blessed. Umikol makom, but in any way, even though, according to the law, he's allowed to give her a kiss and a hug. In Yodea be'atzmo, and if he knows himself, his body, if he's going to start kissing and hugging her right away, he might come to zer levatala, he might come to spill his seeds. Then, like this person, we call in Russian slabe charakter. He has to be then separated himself even from those stuff. Why? Because he's gonna touch her and give her a kiss and a hug. He's gonna come to zer levatala, spill his seeds. It's a problem. Here I want to take a moment. Of course, those who didn't know, don't run after me in the street. Those who knew, don't blame me. What can I tell you? But our rabbis say, when person knows himself that if he's very likely to have his seed come out, Please, this shiur that I'm giving you, I'm telling you because I respect you all, like my own brothers or sisters. But it doesn't mean you should tell other people. I don't want people get me wrong. Okay? Our sages say when person is easy to spill his seeds and he wants to have baby boys, because when you're easy to spill your seeds, you will never have baby boy. It's gonna be girl. This is what our sages say. So they say what to do. So then they say give massage to your wife with your hand. Make sure she first gets happy, like we say in our language, let her take out, and then you go in, you take out. In this case, since she was happy first and then you're happy, that 99% guarantee for baby boys. So if person is always rushing, he's not be able to hold himself, we tell him first give nice massage to your wife, make her take out. After she takes out, then you go in and then you take out. Here you will have baby boy. A lot of rabbis talk about it, a lot of books prove it. And even though people do not know books of Ben Ish Chai, what Gemara says, all the other sources, I tell you, old school of Bukharian people, they know this stuff very well. And they advise walking around advising people, and they really know what they're talking about. So if you want to have baby boy, this is one of the good advices. We are going further. וכן יש להחמיר שלא יישן עם אשתו במיטה אחת בקירוב בשר בעונת ויסתה. Now some people, they very into sleeping on their beds without clothes, even though it's not good to. It's not good. Person should be modest everywhere, especially your kids come into the room. Your kids come out. I don't know if you're blessed to have your father-in-law, mother-in-law in your house, they could come into your room anytime and out. I mean, atzlacha rabba to you, but it's better. It's better in your family to raise proper family. Even though you go to sleep, you should have shorts or pants that covering your legs until your knees and covering your hands until your elbow and your body covered. It's good. It's proper. When you want to do mitzvah, you want to take off everything, fine. But after the mitzvah, put it back. But here, we said these 12 hours, let's say his wife always sees at night, and his 30th day cannot be during the day, it has to be during the night. So it's during the night, and it has to be separated from her, right? That is night before, right? It's on the 29th of night. So he separates himself from her. Some people, they like to sleep without garments. So here they're not allowed to do so. Why? Because what if 2 o'clock in the morning, she sees blood, comes out, his body was touching her body. Doesn't have to be any, just simple touching. He could be, his leg is on top of her leg, or his hand is on top of her hand, or he's just hugging and sleeping. Okay? And that could be, he was sleeping with a wife who's nida on the same bed. So therefore, one more time. וכן יש להחמיר שלא יישן עם אשתו במיטה אחת בקירוב בשר בעונת ביסתה. He shouldn't live with her, he shouldn't sleep with her on the same bed without garment. פן תראה באמצע שנתה ולא תרגיש עד אור הבוקר. Could be she will see in the middle of her night, in the middle of her sleep, that she's bleeding, and she's not going to feel until she wakes up. Comes out, ונמצא ישן עמה בזמן נידתה. Comes out, he was sleeping with her when she was נידה on the bed. Now listen good what it says. והמחמיר. But if person is strict, שלא לישון עמה במיטה אחת בעונת ויסתה. If person is strict, if he knows his wife sees her period during the night, and he doesn't sleep with her on the same bed, אפילו הוא בבגדו והיא בבגדה. Even though, forget about being without garments, even though he has his garment and she has her garment, he doesn't sleep with her that way. Tavo ala bracha, should be blessed. So now, if person's wife sees her period daytime, he's allowed to be with her on the bed, sleeping on the bed at night. He is allowed even to do with her mitzvah at night. Why? Because she never sees at night. But if she sees her period at night, even though he's allowed to be on the bed with his garments, but still he wants to be strict not to be with her on the bed. He wants to be on different. Why? Because if she might see 3 o'clock in the morning, she might see 4 o'clock in the morning. When they're both sleeping, consider he's sleeping on the same bed with Nida. What do we learn from here? We learn from here a very important rule. Not only person not allowed to be with his wife when she's Nida. He's not allowed to even be even on the bed with his own garments when she's Nida. He says, she has her own garment, I have my own garment, I'm not going to touch her, she's not going to touch me, she's doing it. They're not allowed to be on the same bed. Tochka. Period. When she is Nida, he's not allowed to be even with his clothes on that bed because she's Nida. Here I will stop. It's 31 minutes. Baruch Hashem. Thank you for giving all these views, all these answers to continue the Shiurim. I know it's not one of those that lovely stories or chidushim that I say. It's a little bit complicated. It's very deep. It's very important. It's very hard, very tough. But I'll tell you one thing. Proper growth is growing carefully. Baruch Hashem. There were times some people had hard time to close their shop on Shabbat. There were times, I remember, when I would turn around on Friday night to look at congregants, all who were in shul, those who needed to say Kaddish. There were times people came to shul. As soon as they went outside, they had to take their kippah off. There were times people had hard time towards feeling even once a week. But Baruch Hashem, look back and look now. Look how much we grew. Everyone grew on his way. Everyone became more serious, more closer to Hashem. He doesn't want to look back and say, Hashem, I feel so bad. What I used to do, how I used to do, what I did, how I lived. And now, Baruch Hashem, we're growing. Mr. Ilan said, if we don't grow, we fall. When you bring sacrifice on the altar, you didn't go up the steps on the altar. There was a ramp. Why? Because if you put bowl on the ramp, if this bowl doesn't go up, it goes down. If we don't grow, we fall. So Hashem should help us to follow halachot mishpacha carefully, not pushing each other out of the bed, bejanjol, no arguments, no different words if your wife is not clean, or your husband cannot be with you on the same bed. Some people, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you this is very important, very important. Sometimes people don't want to keep Torah or mitzvot. They don't want. And they don't want their children also following the laws. And they say, religious people, they're all close-minded. They all staramotne. They live with their great-grandfather's time, Yet, they know they're wrong. But I'll tell you one thing. There was a man by the name Korach. He was first cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu. 250 prophets. His one cynic statement as a clown destroyed all 250 prophets. You know what he said? He said, guys, Moshe Rabbeinu, old-fashioned rabbi. He is old style, old school. We have to grow. We have to be mature. He's childish. So today, when you grow, someone looks at you and say, who needs this law? Who needs to follow this? Come on. You gotta be upper the class. You gotta wake up. You can't be close-minded. You gotta be open-minded. Let me tell you something. When you close your eyes from looking physical things, Hashem opens your eyes to see spiritual things. When you open your mind in garbage, Hashem closes your mind in spirituality. So when you say open mind and closed mind, you have to know exactly what you're talking about. And if person wants to remain clown, the only one in this world who can help him is himself. Old rabbis, including my grandfather, used to say, if chicken plays in the sand and gets sand under its feathers, you want to take a stick and hit it 50 times to take away all the sand from its body, you're wasting your time. The only time all the feathers will be cleaned from sand if chicken shakes itself. Same thing, if a clown shakes himself, he will be in a good shape. If clown does not shake himself, then he's not going to be able to stand in the proper path. Not now, not on Rosh Hashanah, not on Yom Kippur, and not in Olam Haba. We all know, we all see many people last year, they were in shuls. Many people last year, even between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, they were davening. They were young. They were strong. They were healthy. What happened? Hashem's decision. We're here to make conclusion that Baruch Hashem, from last year to this year, I made it. Hashem, I owe you thank you. I will, by my level, step by step, I will put some addition to a certain degree to improve my life, to improve my family, to improve my kids' education, to improve my kids' thinking, my family thinking, my conclusions, my thoughts, my process of my thoughts. Hashem should help us to grow. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen. I'm sorry if I said something wrong, but you should know I respect you like my own brothers and my own sisters. I don't mean nothing wrong. I don't mean nothing bad. We should always grow and we should always be happy. Good night.